The college football experience, Colorado State Rams 2024 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, you can win up to 325 times the amount you enter with their brand new Pick 8. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Yes, they do have college football, and it is fantastic. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Experience. Colorado State Rams 2024 season preview episode. Let's just get right to it. Hey. Rabbit, do you know how to rabbit? You know how to rabbit. We're talking Ram football here. It is a big year. It's a pivotal year for Jay Norvell and his bunch. I got the chance to interview Jay a year ago, and that was great talking to him. And I think maybe the season didn't go exactly as he had planned. And we're going to talk all about it and talk about how this year could be that magical year that Ram fans want. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swiggin, Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink, and I don't have stress, and I'm healthy.
I like it when Colorado State is good. Now, they had one of the most watched regular season college football games a year ago in a classic that probably should have won against the Buffs. But I like it when the Rams are good. Sonny Lubick days, all right? Where they had one winning season. When they had one losing season from 1994 to 2005. Just one losing season, multiple double-digit win seasons. And back then, you only played 11 games. I want that back. The fans in Fort Collins want that back. Canvas Stadium, brand new stadium. Let's get the wins going. This could be the year, and I'm excited to talk about it. I am joined by my co-host. If you checked out, he's the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. They call him Scumbagger Vance out there on the streets, aka the Bet Detective, CJ Sullivan. How are you, pal?
What's up? Today I'm CJ Norvell, if you will.
I like that. CJ Norvell. Let's go.
Norvell. I know, yeah. Bob Norwell. Because I bid you Norwell. I could just take his name.
I got you.
Didn't Schnellenberger coach Colorado State at one point? Did he get out? Did he get his mitts out there or something doing his offense? Got out there.
Yeah, maybe some of his goons, because I think Lubick was a Schnellenberger disciple.
That's what I was thinking. Lubick was involved with the Schnellenberger. And anything that touches Schnellenberger, I'm on board for. You're right. They used to dominate. Then they had 5 straight losing years. Ben Norwell, we got him from Nevada.
Well, they brought in a guy that can destroy any program, Steve Adazio. All right, you bring him in, and he won a national championship at Florida as the O-line coach, but I mean, he just wasn't that great of a football coach. Chat is asking about where the Boise State preview is. That will be coming out tomorrow. We're going conference by conference. It's just when I can set up schedules. Most of the time it's going to be alphabetically, but got that one scheduled for tomorrow. So shout out to Weehawk, who says hello from Omaha. Normally he's in North Carolina there in Cullowhee. he's at the College Baseball World Series. So enjoy. Make sure you hit Rocco's for those Jello shot challenges. But let's talk about Ram football for a second, because they got the new stadium built. Fort Collins, fantastic city. Shout out to Chad G, who met up with for a beer there at Fort Collins.
Yes.
And it's a great city, and they got a new stadium, and Colorado's growing. All these damn Californians coming over there to Colorado. Mushrooms are legal. So I mean, what's not to stop? What's not to stop this program from being super elite and being now there's a 12-team playoff. The group of 5 has a seat at the table. A lot of those Sonny Lubick teams that I referred to from 94 to 2005 would have been right there knocking on the door of the 12-team college football playoff. Can they get back there? And what do you make of this program right now, and just the growth of the state of Colorado and Jay Norvell year 3?
Well, yeah, the growth of the state of Colorado is blooming. They are embracing. Of course, they were way ahead in the drug game of the legalize it, so much that when you go there, you're like, oh, you guys like smoke weed? You guys legal? It's not just weed. They do all drugs in Colorado. They mix and match things that don't make sense. Like, here, hit this joint, do this line of coke, and take this LSD. What? Like, my heart's all over the place with this one. But all right,
you're
Colorado.
at elevation though. That's why they have the Olympics.
It's elevation.
Up there, right?
It balances it out, and also have some water. Be responsible. Make sure the blood stays thin. As far as Norvell goes, obviously it's taking a little time, but he knew it was going to take time.
Yeah, Adazio, I'm surprised. He might have been the original Bottom Line Bombs, because normally when he leaves,
Right.
It is a fucking disaster.
So they made improvement from 22 when they were 3-9. Even though they went to 5-7, they had very winnable games, including the game of the year in general in college football. That Colorado game last year, but of course, if Colorado didn't come back, it wouldn't have been the game of the year. But that being said, I know they like to say we're coming. It's easy to see a tide turn here with Colorado State now.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
I like Colorado State this year, and I say they're the team you should be looking out for in this state.
Woo, 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 woo. The people are asking for it.
Yeah, they are. And Josh says, where the hell is Boise State? Because he thought it was alphabetical, and that's a good thing. Colorado State, no Boise State this year under schedule. That's even better for us.
Even though they beat them last year on a Hail Mary. So you could argue that, like, when Colorado State fans say you talk about the most exciting game, the most watched one was the Colorado, Rocky Mountain Showdown. But the one that they love is them, with the Hail Mary against Boise State. A game they had no business winning. Boise was up by 2 scores with like a minute and a half left. But let's talk about Jay Norvell, former Buddy Ryan guy, right? Back in the day, and he played at Iowa under Hayden Fry. Let me just do a little shift in here, but youtube.com/the college experience. Hit that like and subscribe button. He's 8-16 in 2 years. That's not gonna cut it. Let me ask you this. And I'm going to rattle off some of these records, because he is 0-2 against Air Force. He's 0-1 against the Buffs, 0-2 against Wyoming. Those are all the rivals. He's 0-5 against, in-state/Wyoming, which is like 40 minutes away from CSU. Also 0-2 against Utah State, 1-1 against Boise State. That was the Hail Mary game. 2-0 against the rival, Norvell's old stop, Nevada. 0-2 against Washington State, which I put that there because they're playing a Mountain West schedule, yet not in the Mountain West. It's weird. They're in the Pac-2. 0-1 against UNLV, 1-1 against Hawaii, 1-1 against FCS opponents.
Devastating loss to Hawaii last year that kept them out of the bowls, by the way.
Yes. And here's the one nugget, and I'm a Jay Norvell guy. I'd like to hire when it happened, but I will say this. He's only beaten one team with a winning record in his 2 years, and that was the Hail Mary game against Boise. So
listen, it's going to take a lot of time, but they've shown improvement. They signed improvement. First of all, shout out to the Manva with the Canva. My man Picks Dundee with the graphics here coming up big with the Canva graphics.
I think I spelled everything right. I was doing the Air Force preview, and there was a page called Texas A&M.
That's all right. People get typos and statues nowadays. Who cares if you get this thing wrong,
Look, I'm much like the citizens of Colorado, perhaps under the influence.
Well, I don't get.
but yeah, let me ask you this though. I mean, do you think if they go 5-7 again, is he fired? They're going to give him that 4th year?
Well, like I said, I mean, 5-7 would be a disappointment, I believe. Of course, at the same time, especially the way the schedule softens up for him and the way they showed improvements. I don't know. That would be unfortunate if they did not give him. Like we said, the bomb was up before him. He had a lot of work to do. You knew it was going to take time, but this is the year to do it. So I don't know if I would fire him, but I could see it. It'd be justified. I wouldn't do it, but it'd be
I would give him 4. Give him 4.
Yeah, I'd give him the 4th year.
When Adazio leaves the program, he detonates that thing. So, look at the offense from a year ago. They Matt Mumme, the son of Hal Mumme, who created the air raid offense with Mike Leach, is somewhat their OC. I think co-OC or quarterbacks coach, and has a lot to do with the offense. Norvell, I think, gets the title of the OC, which is crazy because he's a former defensive back. So it's all over the place with Norvell. But 73rd in scoring per game, 26.1 points per game. That was 8th in the Mountain West, 54th in yards per game. That was 14th in the Mountain West, and 9th in passing. That was 14th. Wait, I think I might have messed that one up. But definitely 14th in rushing. they were 9th. They were
ninth
first
in the
country.
they were first.
I know, my bad.
First in the Mountain West, 9th in the country in passing. Their passing offense was awesome.
I messed that one up. My apologies.
It's all right, but running was an afterthought for him.
Yes, and they run the air raid. They run the true air raid. That's the Hal Mumme influence there. So let's talk a little bit about this offense because they lost a bunch of guys. Clay Millen, the son of Hugh Millen, who was the starter coming into the year last year, but this freshman that kind of came into the Colorado game and just looked amazing. Brayden Fowler-Nicolosi, I think it is. He looks really good. So Clay Millen said, "You know what? My dad's an NFL great. I don't need this Fort College shit. I'm going to Gainesville." All right. He's out. But the rest of the losses are minimal. Okay, Justin Ross Simmons, I think, was a guy that started to them. They'll have to replace him, but they brought in enough guys to replace him for sure. Yeah. So you're seeing there on the screen, they lost those guys. And then they returned 6 starters. Yes, Brayden Fowler-Nicolosi is back, and Tory Horton, who's a stud wideout ever since he was at Nevada.
Amazing. Why is he back, Tory Horton? This guy should be in the NFL for crying out loud.
Yeah, he will be in the NFL. Good for him.
I'm glad he came back to play for Colorado State because he could have went anywhere he wanted to.
Yeah. That's because the other receivers over the past couple of years have dipped out. Dylan Goffney was pretty solid too. So
yeah, he's for sure. I was about to, didn't they lose that tight end too? Was it Dallin Hockner or whatever his name was?
Yes, they lost him. He was a stud. He went to the NFL though, right?
Is that where he went?
I think
not the portal, but he's tough. They'll replace him, but he was the main part of their offense.
Well, I can tell you this: bringing back 3 of 5 on the offensive line, and Fowler-Nicolosi did look good as a freshman. And now he's going to be a sophomore. Those wideouts, I think the offense looks pretty solid. And the kicker Jordan Noyes is back.
Yeah, always good to have a good kicker returning, veteran. Kicker.
Yeah. Close games matter, man. I mean, if anything, maybe that's something you look back at this Ram team from a year ago in that Colorado game. I thought a lot of it was, I thought the coaching was critical. There's some spots where I thought maybe they should have taking advantage of it. They lose in double overtime to Colorado. They lose by 2 at UNLV in a game that me and you were kicking the screens. They lose by 3 on the island against Timmy Chang, who used to work under Jay Norvell. Lost by 9 in the rivalry game there in War Memorial and Laramie. And they just got their ass kicked by Air Force and Utah State, and Washington State. But that was close. That was close to a 6-7 win season there.
Yeah, they definitely had winnable games.
Yeah, and I can tell you this: they went out in the portal, and I want to circle one guy here. Now they're bringing a couple wideouts, some offensive line help. Here's what I love: they're going through the depths for the O line. They're going to Utah Tech. I didn't even know Utah had technology.
Utah Tech,
and Shepherd. What's your opinion of Shepherd pie? Shepherd, shout out to Shepherd if you know they're in West Virginia.
What's your take on shepherd pie?
Interesting, I'll say. It's like, I don't know that I would ever concoct it, but you know, I'm like one of these guys where you take me anywhere, I'll eat anything, but it's weird. What's your take on it?
Also heard it's also known as cottage pie. Depends what land you're in, if I recall. I like anything. I'll give anything a shot that has minced meat. I like saying the word minced meat more than I like eating it. You know, it's, it's properly done with lamb. You know, but you know you're in that Irish stew area. It's kind of an Americanized Irish stew, which is not complicated. It's a lot of bullshit put together and boiled and cooked together, and you get the mashed potatoes in there. Shepherd's pie, I like combining things. But I like to combine it myself. I don't want you guys combining it. That's the only thing with that. You know, I'd rather have the lamb, the mashed potatoes, the pizza. I'll put it together. Thank you very much. I don't want you guys fucking doing it. So
yeah. And shepherd pie, like I feel like is always a mystery to me. Like,
right.
Yeah,
you know what you're getting?
I dig the mashed potatoes, right?
Yeah,
big mashed potato guy here. But I always feel like it's kind of a mystery play. It's a gamble. It's a gamble because A, you got to count on the place that made it. B, they seem to just throw random shit in there sometimes. You'll catch peas or carrots in there.
Yeah, and your veggies will be covered in your beef gravy. Basically, you know what I mean? Which kind of, that seems like an old Irish dad thing, that the way to make the vegetables palpable, just douse them in fucking beef gravy, put some potatoes on it, and slide it down the gullet. So, you know what? I'm full shepherd. Let's go. Shepherd's pie.
I'm on board too. I was in Ireland for a couple weeks.
And I'm sure Chandler Brown had quite a few shepherd's pie down there in Shepherd, West Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And look, you got to remember, like, they go deep, not only with these two guys, Foster and Brown, from the ranks of FCS and D2, but I don't know if you know this. They got a sumo wrestler on the defensive line a year ago.
Okay.
They actually went out and they were somehow in Japan. I don't remember.
No, I remember that. But this whole Colorado State teams were lunatics, right? Didn't they have all kinds? That's right. Yeah, sumo wrestlers. They had fucking vigilantes.
I love it. I love this program. Anytime you're thinking outside the box like that, like let's go get a sumo. I've always wondered why a sumo wrestler why don't they get a gigantic sumo wrestler to be a goalie in hockey? You know, 'cause I feel like they're somewhat agile and they're big enough where they can protect most of it. Am I crazy here?
Or get a paddle, or like a waffle that's so big that covers the entire net, and have a little midget back there behind the net that holds it up. You know what I mean? Like, just sit back there, just hold the board, one big board, you know? No, that's what Americans always do every time we get into hockey. We just want to start changing the rules.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's just fucking duct tape a sumo wrestler in there, have him take pucks to the heart.
I agree. Look, I've been thinking about this for a couple decades now. So, but look, out of the portal here, I'm intrigued by these wideouts. Those are not sumo wrestlers. Donovan Ollie was a stud at Washington State a couple years ago.
Donovan Ollie, yeah, he came from Cincinnati, right? Deep threat guy.
Yeah, but prior to that, he was at Washington State. And I know he scorched them 2 years ago. I think the season opener. And Armani Winfield comes over from Baylor, and Kenyon Higgins from San Jose State. We'll see how those pieces work out.
They got that receiver from SMU too. Was it Dylan Goffrey or something? Was his name? I believe, or Goffney?
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago, right? Am I crazy here? Did I miss that?
One of those guys got to step up for Justin Roth-Simone for sure.
Yeah.
No, you did not miss that. I'm just thinking, because they were saying they're penciling in Donovan Ollie to step in for Simone, but I think Goffrey can. I like him better. A little bit.
Well, when you think of the other receivers coming back, you know, Goffrey and Horton mixed with Donovan Ollie, they're going to have a pretty damn good receiving core.
Yeah.
And running back, I mean, who cares? They run the ball like 3 times a game, right?
Yeah, they rotate the running backs, 3.3 carry. Their O-line was 125th in rush blocking, but 9th in pass blocking. I think a lot of that has to do with the system, as you were saying, too. They do a lot of quick passes, so that kind of protects them a bit. They don't have to protect for too long, but that keeps them fresh, too, which is important, you know. But with that O-line returning, I think they're set up for that, especially with
this is the best O-line they've had, I think, there in the Norvell era. So I think that's encouraging to me if you're a Colorado State fan. We're going to talk about the defense and perhaps Shepherd Pie again, but
Sumo wrestlers.
I want to tell you that the college football experience Colorado State season previews brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8's now live. Create entries with up to 8 picks. And Underdog will automatically double flex entries so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. With more picks to make and extra ways to win, the excitement is higher than ever. And the best part is you can win up to 325 times the amount you originally enter. You can now use specials and boost too on all flexed entries. Don't miss your chance to try it out before it's gone. And you better believe they got college football. And I love some Underdog Fantasy when college football rolls around. So sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. And don't wait for college football season. Get in there now. They got MLB. They got CFL, which I play all the time. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back. Let's talk a little bit about, because that's what I find interesting. I know Norvell's running the offense, but this is a guy that played at Iowa, defensive back. Those defenses were always nasty under Hayden Fry with Andre Tippett and Stoops. You had Bob Stoops there then. But now he runs the offense. So the defensive side of the ball, man, you look at their numbers from last year. They were not great. 95th in scoring points per scoring defense per game, 29.6 they gave up. That was 8th best in the Mountain West. 104th in yards in the nation. So one of the bottom 30 defenses. There was only 133 teams last year. That was second to last in the Mountain West. Or wait a second, I think there's 12 in the Mountain. So yeah, second to last in the Mountain West. They were 106th in passing. That was 10th in the Mountain West. The pass defense there, not the greatest. You would think they'd be good at pass defense since they practice against the air raid nonstop.
Yeah.
95th in rush defense. That was 6th best in the Mountain West, but I almost think that might even be. I know they lost what's his name to the NFL, Mohamed Kamara, who was a stud, by the way.
He was absolute. Mohamed Kamara was huge.
Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year last year. They lose him, but even with that, I feel like teams thought they could pass on him, and they could. So, but losing him is huge. They also lost. We're going to talk about this, but Grady Kelly, another stud on the defense, headed out to Florida State. I'd say that and TJ Crandell to West Virginia were a couple losses they probably weren't expecting. The rest were all, probably deep on the depth chart, but. Obviously, the defense has to get way, way better if they're gonna contend in the Mountain West. You look at the teams that always are there defensively. It's always Air Force, Boise, Fresno. Those are always the contenders. San Diego State when they had Rocky Long. What do you make of the defense? I know we're gonna get to some of the guys they brought in, but like losing Grady Kelly and losing Kamara are gigantic blows to this team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean their D line's gonna have to step up and put pressure to their safeties are good. They led the team in tackles, Jack Howell, but that's also not good when your safety leads you. If your safety leads your team in tackles,
and
that's
he had that classic cheap shot against Travis Hunter. Remember that? Travis Hunter was going out of bounds.
That was Henry
that was Blackburn. You're right.
But same. They're similar players. He also had a bunch of tackles. Both of them had a lot of. Jack Howell and Blackburn. They're a pair of great safeties. But like I said, that means your front seven is not. They're doing a lot of cleanup work if they're having over 100 tackles. That's not good. But they are good. So I like that they did get torched. I think in the second half of last year they kind of pulled it together, kept them in games more than in the first half of the season when they were just getting lit up. And either way, it's not. I mean, you can slap on all the paint you want. House needs renovations there. But they brought in. Let's see. They brought in. How about that D back from Nevada? Jay still bringing some Nevada guys in.
Yeah, still bringing in those Nevada guys. Now, look, I do want to touch real quick on what they're returning. They are returning 6 starters. There's 3 guys in the secondary, which you alluded to: Dom Jones, Jack Howell, Henry Blackburn. Linebacker Chase Wilson's back, and 2 of the other guys on the defensive line are back, and of course they have a Kick Dundee there. Patty Turner, who I met in Vegas there at Media Day last year from the land down under. He is his dad was a Aussie Rules football player there, so he was clear in letting me know that he's not a punter that's going to shy away from tackling. He wants to go after it.
Yes.
But yes, in the portal,
Chase Wilson's a great return, by the way.
Yeah, one of their better defensive players.
Tackling machine.
In the portal, though, they went out and they brought in who you're talking about is Isaiah.
Yes. Go ahead. This is my favorite segment of the show. Dundee.
Assisma.
Pronouncing African names. It's my favorite. One of my favorite segments here on these college team previews.
Isaiah Assisma.
Well, I don't get the brain bag.
I will not be giving you an assistma on that one. That's all you.
Elias Larry comes in from Nebraska. I got that one.
You got Larry right. Good job.
Yeah. Gabe Kirch from Wisconsin.
Wisco?
That's a Wisconsin guy right there.
That is a Wisco. Gabe Kirchke, Wisconsin.
Real.
I'm a 4-point stance. I get down and I milk them cows. I gotta get down, gotta get low, and you gotta milk them.
Oh man, yeah, I think that's a good get. You're getting a Badger. Luke Fickles.
Absolutely, you need to get a Badger to get sloppy down low for sure.
I'll let you pronounce the guy from Utah State that comes in.
Oh yeah, Palski Vakuda. Yeah.
Vakuda, I think that is. I think you nailed it. And
Vakuda.
And Will Prendergast coming in from the airport, Florida International.
Prendergast. That sounds like someone at the office who's fucking up. Prendergast, get in here. Who blew that Tompkins report? Was that who was on that? Prendergast?
Yeah. Look, I think these guys, though. I know I think they're good additions. I think the best they could do, considering that Kamara went to the NFL. He's getting paid a shit ton of money now, and Kelly is getting paid a shit ton of money down there at Florida State. And I don't know. Do you think the defense will be better this year?
Defense will be better. Like I said, they started playing better towards the second half of the year last year. They a lot of tacklers. Will they be able to cover? That's what's going to come down to. And will the front seven be able to make some tackles? So they lost some, they bred some. We'll see.
Well, the front seven, that's the defensive line actually is the question mark. They're bringing in these guys. Can they be as good as a year ago? But I think the secondary and linebacking core will be better. So maybe the overall defense will be a little bit better. We're going to get to the schedule here, but first I want to tell you folks that the Colorado State Rams preview is brought to you by Rhythm. If you're betting on player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actual insights, empowering bettors with smarter data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. So claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. And look, the win total sitting there, 6 wins over at DK right now. 6 wins. Now this is juiced a little bit to the over at minus 140. If you're going to take the over, the unders plus 110, plus 1,000 to make the Mountain West, or to win the Mountain West championship. I couldn't find 12-team playoff odds out there yet, but I think they will be out there when the season gets closer.
Yeah.
To win the national championship plus 200,000. So I mean, we don't have to bring that, but Mountain West. Any chance you would take a future on them to win the Mountain West this year? Because I'll tell you this. It's an interesting year. Before we dive in and go game by game on this,
right?
You have so much coaching turnover. You got Sean Lewis is now at San Diego State. You got Nia Montalolo coming into San Jose State. You got Mendenhall coming into New Mexico. You got Choate coming into Nevada. and you got Salvell coming into Wyoming. So right there, that's a lot of schools there. Then you have Air Force. Air Force lost their entire team pretty much from a year ago. Now, Troy Calhoun's a proven winner, so I think they're still going to be a contender. But it's a great time to catch Air Force right now. Boise it went out and got Malachi Nelson, but they have a first-year coach in Spencer Danielson. Now, granted, he coached like 3 games on the back end of last season. They got 5-star QB Malachi Nelson, but he's a freshman. So that leaves you with just UNLV, who was really good last year. We ate shit on UNLV, but Fresno, who's always good. Utah State, who's solid. It seems like maybe this could be a year where they could come up. Am I crazy?
Like you said, before we take that deep dive into the schedule, I think there's no reason why they shouldn't be competing at least to get into that championship game. So a 10-1, just right off the bat, I'm looking at that as a nice little play. I like this Colorado State team to get there just because. And Boise State's not on the schedule this year, even though their schedule opens up. We'll get into it, but like you said, this is going to be an open conference, and they're on their way up. So that's the one that jumps out to me. Besides, before we even get to the over/under, that they should. There's no reason why they should not be competing for the championship game.
I agree, and Vegas basically saying, like I said, it's juiced to the over. So Vegas thinking 7-5. Well, when you consider out of conference, they get Texas and Colorado. Mm-hmm. So if you and Oregon State. So I mean, they can afford to lose those games, and then they're going to be dogs in probably all 3 of those games. So deduce that from there, and Vegas basically saying the remaining games, they're only going to lose 2 games because they have them basically at 7-5. 2 games will probably get you into the Mountain West Championship game.
I think so.
Yeah,
it's all it takes.
Let's jump into it. But week 1, you're heading to Austin, Texas. 6th Street's going to be rocking. Vince Young Steakhouse. Still, assuming it's still open, but not sure. After the way he was spending money at the Cheesecake Factory there in Nashville, but they're gonna get their ass kicked in Austin against any chance Arch Manning comes in there in that game. Yeah. They're up big.
Absolutely, yeah. Tough opener. Texas will run a little slip shot over them, but that's fine. Well, let's just get this out of the way. Lick your chops and get the real season going. Now, real quickly to the audience at home, explain the Dundee power rankings of opponents. Now, there's your own power system, right?
Oh yeah,
you have them all. You have them 6th. Is that what I'm saying?
No, I think I forgot to do it for this one. But I was
gonna say, I was like, if Texas is the 6th toughest opponent, Jesus, what was I talking about? What was I talking about? Soft schedule.
I knew I fucked up one thing. I'm good for fucking up one thing every episode. But
right. I'll go ahead and say Texas is gonna be the toughest team they play on this schedule.
You can lose that game and you can still get to the playoffs.
Oh man! All right.
So you could. My Fresno play accidentally might be worthy of the most important game on the schedule.
I like it. Yeah, who knows by the time you get there.
All right, so at Texas, week 1
that's a loss.
Is a loss. Then look, Fort Collins, the Greeley. I've made that trip before.
Mm-hmm.
Northern Colorado is going to get rolled. They're not very good. They're not very good in the FCS and in the Big Sky. Then the Colorado Buffaloes come to town. Now this is just, this is college football done right. Shout out to who is the AD? I forget his name right now. In Boulder, but I appreciate playing on the road. Mm-hmm. This place is going to be fucking insane. You realize that? This place is going to be insane. This might need to be ranked number 1 because you win this against Coach Prime, and it was chippy last year. It was
beyond chippy.
Yeah, people were getting thrown out. Kamara got thrown out.
All right. You had rappers on the sideline. Game started at 11 p.m. local time, I believe. Helicoptered in there, and you had of course, the famed Blackburn hit on Travis Hunter. They got over, but he was labeled. He had a tough go at it, but this is going to get ugly. I like it. I love Colorado State in this revenge game here.
Rick George, by the way, shout out
Rick George,
East Coast Kev. Appreciate you.
Thank you, East Coast Kev.
No, this game is this is so critical for me for Norvell. Like I still think the season can go fine. I favor Colorado, but not by much.
Oh, like absolutely. Yeah. No, for sure. I don't. They're. I love Colorado State in this game.
This place is going to burn down though if they win this game.
That's what I mean.
That's going to be one of the scenes in college football. You know how you saw Tennessee take the goalpost to the river?
They had them beat last year in Colorado. I mean,
but Colorado's better this year, man. Colorado's a lot better on the line of scrimmage this year.
So's Colorado State, and you're going to catch them hopefully when they're, playing better as they were at the end of last year. So, at home revenge game. This is the one that got circled. This is going to be the Rocky Mountain Showdown. This is going to be an awesome game either way. Give me Colorado State here. 2-1, baby.
Woo! You got a show at Fort Collins next week? You're trying to get the one you started.
CJ Norvell, baby.
And look, this is a great rivalry. If you're not familiar with the Rocky Mountain Showdown, this goes back to like 1893. It's just a chippy rivalry. Always has been. I think the Buffs are better though, man. So I'm going to take Colorado to get this done. I got them at 1-2.
Okay. And
then the UTEP Miners coming. That brand new coach, Scotty Walden, coming in from Austin P. That should be a win. I do like Walden. He brought like 30 players with him from Austin P. And Austin P wasn't bad last year. So I do think he might be faster than most first year coaches with that. Now you can just bring your whole team. But I still think Colorado State's ahead of UTEP right now. I got them 2-2 heading into the first bye week. You?
Yeah, I haven't beaten UTEP, although it's a little dicey situation coming off that such a huge game, that letdown spot. But I remember last year they bounced back and had a win. Did they play Middle Tennessee last year, I think, after the game? Everyone faded them, and they went out and they rocked them. They won by double digits going away, whatever. God, Buffs. I know you side with East Coast Prime. I got you. But
we coming.
Yeah, we coming. They're still telling you these Rams are coming. That's who's really coming into state. All right, there's a lot of calm talk. I think they win versus UTEP 3-1.
3-1. I got them 2-2, and then they head to Corvallis. Reeser Stadium will be rocking. Talk about another underrated, great college football environment. Here's the thing about this game. If this was in September, I think I would favor Colorado State. But the more time that Bray gets with his team there in Corvallis, by the time October rolls around, and that is a legit home field advantage. This is a 50-50 game to me, but I lean Oregon State because of that environment.
I also believe it's 50. I look at the schedule and what I was before the show. There's a lot of 50-50 games here. So there's a lot of things that it's up and down, whatever, with this win total. I mean, I only have Texas is maybe the only guaranteed loss I have on here. The rest are all coin flips, but there's also not a lot of guaranteed victories either. There's only a couple of those, I think, but I see 7 or 8 coin flips, including this one off the bye coming in. I'm with you. I think Oregon State gets them here. So I got them at 3-2.
And the chat's asking, who does Oregon State have the week prior? They are coming off a bye week as well. So both teams have a bye. After that, they're home to San Jose State and Ken Niumatalolo. They're going run and shoot, June Jones stuff there. I think it might take a little bit. So I like Colorado State to return to victory form in Fort Collins, and that would put them at 3-3 for me. How about you?
Yeah, I like them with a win here to make it 4-2, although it is a look-ahead spot with Air Force coming up next in a huge rivalry game, a game that they have to get. We'll get to that now. They've lost 7 in a row to Air Force, by the way.
I mean, not only 7 in a row, Troy Calhoun. I think he's been there since, 17 years or something? 16 years. He's 14-2 against Colorado State.
Good God.
It's that triple option. I tell you, man, you go.
I know.
That triple option, everyone should be running it. They're stupid. I'm taking Air Force.
At Air Force, I hate to do it because they need to get this, and they will get one of them. This is kind of a year to kind of.
Well, you can lose that Oregon State game and still make the Mountain West Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're right. They can't match with the numbers. They lose at Air Force. Tough rival. So I have them at. What do you have them at now?
I got them at 3-4. I think you got them at 4-3, right?
I have them at 4-3. Then yeah.
Then they're home to New Mexico, getting Bronco Mendenhall, new coach. That's a win. Mendenhall's a great coach, but it normally takes him about a year or two to get it going. So at that point, I'm 4-4 then, right?
Yep.
That number's at 6. They're at Nevada, new coach again. You got to like the fact they got San Jose State. So they got UTEP, San Jose State, New Mexico, Nevada, Wyoming with all new coaches.
And as the chat points out, they barely leave the state of Colorado until all the way through October. They have one, besides the Texas game, we don't even count that. At Oregon State, October 5th, and then at Air Force. That's it.
Well, no, Air Force is Colorado. It's just Texas and Oregon State.
Right, just Oregon State. But I'm saying in road games, they don't not until the November do they leave the state of Colorado, except for that one time to Oregon.
So yeah, I got them beating New Mexico, and I got to beat them Nevada in Reno. Now
they're definitely beating Nevada.
That's become a chippy rivalry. When Norvell left,
sure.
Chris Alt, their legendary coach that invented the pistol offense, was vocal about Norvell taking the Colorado State job, calling him out for it, and then taking all their players too.
Yeah, grab the players and coaches.
Yeah, so it's gotten chippy. So Reno will be rocking for that one, but I got that as a win. So I got 2 straight wins there. So that puts me at what 5 and 4, right? 5 and 4. Where are you at the second bye week?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm one above you. I think the only thing we've differed on was the Colorado game.
Yeah.
Right. We have them losing to Oregon State. We have them losing to Air Force. And that's it. So you have them at 3 losses. I have them at 2.
My losses are Texas, Colorado, Oregon
Texas.
State.
I forgot about Texas.
Oregon State and Air Force. Yeah.
Yeah. You have 4 losses. I have 3.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Then the rivalry game. They are home to Wyoming. He hasn't beaten Wyoming yet, but I think this is the one. They get Wyoming in Fort Collins. This is an old school rivalry too. It's separated by like 40 miles or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at with this Wyoming game?
Another lucky bounce for them. This game's not at Wyoming, where we all know hell breaks loose. It's pure chaos, dust bowls and winds and cowboys, 6-shooters in the air, and fucking just wildness happening there. So I like them off the bye, especially a bye. It's a perfect second bye week after the Nevada game, because that's going to, like you said, it gets chippy. That's going to be a war. They're going to need to lick their wounds after that, even though they're going to get the win, I think. But it's going to be ugly no matter what. So I like the bye. I like the win versus Wyoming, and now we're coming down home stretch here.
Yes, November 23rd, they head to Fresno, California. Bulldog Stadium will be rocking. Jeff Tedford's bunch. I lean Fresno, but I do think this could be a game. But I think Fresno's a better team right now, so I'll say loss here. But it wouldn't shock me if Colorado State won this game. You
at Fresno? Yeah, no, not sure. Like I said, all these games are coin tosses to me, except for the Texas loss and a couple of the easy wins. I mean,
Air Force. I think you have to say they're like, that's not a coin toss. They've got their ass whooped by Air Force.
Yes, but I believe this year they're going to give them a game, and are obviously focused on it. Yeah, I mean, I lean Air Force. I have Air Force winning that game, but it's not a guaranteed loss. That's what I'm trying to say. They have one guaranteed loss versus Texas, and they have a couple guaranteed wins. Northern Colorado, UTEP, New Mexico,
probably San Jose. You might be able to throw San Jose in there. I don't know.
New Mexico, I think is pretty. They'll get that one as well. San Jose, I can see San Jose beating them too, but they won't. Is what I'm trying to say. But Fresno, I have them losing this game at Fresno though.
I do too, and then they're home to Blake Anderson and Utah State, the final game of the season. This one, I will say Colorado State gets this one. I think Colorado State gets the Utah State game, and that puts me at, I believe, 7 wins. What? Utah State, Wyoming, Nevada, New Mexico, San Jose State, UTEP, and Northern Colorado. And that also might put them in, because I only have them with 2 losses in conference, Air Force and Fresno State. That might be good enough for them to be playing the Mountain West Championship. Remember, the Mountain West does their championship game at the home school of the best record in the conference. So that could potentially be Colorado State, especially if they were to play one of the teams, or I don't know how the tiebreaker would work, because they don't play Boise. You got to like the schedule. They don't play Boise. They don't play San Diego State, who's traditionally, I know last year they weren't good, but the other years they were.
No face pissers of UNLV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to like the schedule in a way.
I'm
on the over.
The schedule's great for them if you just dismiss the Texas game. I mean, after that, it's great. Like we said, tons of home games. I'm definitely on the over. You have 7 wins. I have 8 wins, I believe.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
look, I can
and they're
totally
going bowling. They're finally going bowling.
Yes.
They haven't gone bowling forever. It's about time they're going bowling this year, and that's why they will finish up strong with 8 wins. And possible, I like that conference championship game, 10-1, good ticket to get.
I mean, I really like the over because I think it is possible that they win in Corvallis. I think it's possible they beat the Buffs. I'm taking Colorado, but I think that game you always throw the record books.
They will
Red
beat
River
the Buffs.
Shootout. Yeah.
Mark that down. They will beat the Buffs.
Woo, woo. I mean,
What
I don't
are we
know.
talking here, baby?
I don't know. You know, I got to take my Buffs.
Look out, just watch him go. Out of Buffalo.
But I think the season does, even like the Air Force game. When Air Force wins, it's normally like 14 to 13. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean,
yeah.
Every game is really, it's a nice schedule, man. It breaks nice
really
for the Rams. This is the year to do it. I'm on the over. You're on the over. Will you be running to the window for this one? I think I will.
I like it. I like this team. I like their offense. If I can get the flat 6 for sure, because I also saw 6.5 bet online. I like 6.5 either way if it's plus money. But I like them. I think 7 is a pretty reachable goal, and I have them at 8 wins. So yeah, I'll play this.
Yeah, I mean, like we've done all these previews, and folks, remember we're previewing all 134 teams,
Right.
solo episode. There's some that I take the over, and I'm like, but you're not going to see me betting this. What did we do the other day? The Vanderbilt one. I was like, I don't know. I'm going to be running to the window for that one. I'm on the over, but Colorado State, I actually think I will place a wager on them to hit the over for this.
And I'll take that 10-1 to win the conference.
Well, I just built. I mean, first off, to me, if you're avoiding, but the 3 best records could be, other than Colorado State, San Diego State, UNLV, and Boise. So you're missing 3. I think they're all 3 bowl teams this year, right? So you're missing 3 Mountain West bowl teams. I also like the fact they get Oregon State and not Washington State, because Oregon State is bringing in their whole entire fucking roster. Like, they're breaking in. Washington State is returning a lot. I think their whole line is back. So I think it's worth a stab at taking that plus 10-1 there to win the Mountain West. They might even be hosting the game. If they're hosting the game on what would that be? December 7th in Fort Collins? Get the fuck out of here. That place will burn down too. So I'm on the over. Bet Detectives on the over, folks.
And the W versus Colorado. We'll lock that. We coming on Buffaloes after we fuck Buffaloes.
I am on the Buff, so get that shit out of here. All right. But yes, I look, folks. We're both on the over, and you need to head over to youtube.com/the college experience and hit that like and subscribe button, because we are breaking down all these teams, every single team, at pretty much an hour dedicated to every single team. Shout out to Ryan Hasty, best college football content on the interwebs, to quote George W. Bush.
Yes, sir.
Also, you're going to want to check out, first off, also iTunes, Spotify, wherever you can get podcasts, get on over there, subscribe over there as well. If you can give us a 5-star review, that always helps. And make sure you check out Scumbagger Vance here, CJ Sullivan, the Bet Detective. All right. He's on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _ and the Bottom Line Bombs is a podcast I highly recommend. It's not a seasonal pod. This is a year-round gambling pod. You got to get over there, check out the Bottom Line Bombs.
Subscribe to that Bottom Line Bombs. Get that engagement going. Tell 50,000 of your friends. Let's go. Lock and load. We're on the road to 10 million. We're shipping it left and right.
Let's go. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Also, check out the Stadium Heads podcast that me and College Football Campus Tour, a.k.a. Michael Barker, does. That we both do that podcast, the Stadium Heads. We just did an episode at the Mountain West about the Mountain West stadiums and the Pac-2 stadiums. Love Canvas Stadium there in Fort Collins. And also make sure we'll be at Mountain West Media Day. So if you're coming out to Circa, where the Mountain West Media Day is being held, me and Michael Barker will be there. So hop on over there and tell us what's up. Buy a beer. Let's go. Buy a cocktail.
Yes.
Let's go.
You want to get the suit on for that, Dundee? Get the press pass and the whole Tom hat. You'll, excuse me, sir. I have a question from the back from the college experience here. The SGPN
the old newsy hat.
Yeah, the newsy hat, little pad and pen.
I like it. Let's go. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast too. And East Coast Kev said Colorado 11-1. I'm with you. Let's go. They're not going to want to hear that, but let's go. We coming.
All right.
Until next time, folks. This is the college football experience, Colorado State style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Rabbit, do you